Welcome, everybody. How are you all doing here today?
Yo, what's going on? Oh my god, my Evercade's loud. Booting up as I'm talking.
It sounded like you just flew in here,
scared the crap out of me.
like you did it on purpose.
No, I really didn't, or did I?
It
trouble,
amazes
man.
me how that thing is loud. Yeah, I have to crank the volume like way down in OBS.
Yeah. If only they put the speakers front facing, it would have been awesome.
Or you could just use the VS.
Yeah. No, I do have a comment on that because like with like Tate mode definitely covers the speakers, and then with with Donut Dodo, my God, that volume is extremely loud in that game. Anyways, I wish they would have had the default be lower. But Rich should be joining us soon. He's on the way. But in the meantime,
he says a bit, but how much is a bit?
Intro and chat.
Hey, you know what? Rich, a bit for Rich could be a. I don't know what's New Jersey bits. Canadian bits. In Canada, it's called bytes, and States is bits.
Yeah, bytes, bits.
Well, no, what? A bit is 1. A byte is 1,000, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think 4 bits is a byte.
Oh yeah, byte up. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Bits and bytes and bytes and
Bits
bits.
and bytes is a TV show up here in Canada.
When we're talking about K, that's not 1,000. That's 1,024.
Yeah, exactly. It's I forget all that. So yeah, hey everybody.
So how's y'all's week's been? Let's talk about that.
Freaking awesome. I had a good week. It's my birthday week, so the whole week everybody's been kind of nice to me.
Woohoo! Happy birthday week!
Only for this week, huh?
Only for this week, yeah. No, the big 5-0 is about the byte.
Okay, 8 bits is a byte.
Yeah, it's a big 5-0. It's about it, but it's been a really great week so far. I've been having a lot of fun playing, trying to get Star Wars Jedi Survivor going on the deck. C64, I'm trying to like that card, but we'll get into that. But yeah, just having a lot of fun, as usual. Looking forward to today. Hey, Rich.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Like never.
Mr. Newsbreaker, Heartbreaker. Rich.
I know, right? I'm like, he has to show up because he was. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Well, I've been at that for 3 years. Let's be honest, guys. Like I've been trying for that for 3 years. It's probably the dumbest thing that's not happened, or the greatest thing that's not happened on the Evercade, right, Rich?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you and I talked about it when it was just you and I on this show.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, let's go.
Yeah, very, very excited to jump on in here. Hope everyone's having a great weekend so far. I was over at the post office this morning, so you know how the lines can sometimes get a little long. Getting passport renewals for our summer trips. So
Pete's audio is not right. Yeah, because I'm farther away. I got a new monitor, and my webcam is like an extra 6 inches away. Do I sound like I'm further away, Nate Peter?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, well, since I'm not on video anyway, I can move my thing closer.
That is kind of funny. You're using a mic from a webcam, but you're not using the video from the webcam, only the mic part.
You know why I don't use video? Because there's too many morons out there in the world.
But you don't have another mic?
Plus, you guys see my face. It's all grossly from the deformed accident, right? How's my mic now? Is it better?
A little bit too hot.
It's a little hot, a little pitchy, but you're all right.
Oh, for the love of God, you guys. Jesus Christ, like playing with Goldilocks here.
Nice.
How about right now? Is that better now?
Yes.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
That's better.
What was this comment Dan said? So, okay, I guess you're swearing your allegiance to your new king this morning. I don't get that, Dan. Why are you confusing me, Dan? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we'll get to this. Since the chat's bumping, let me at least say hi to the chat. You know, he says more shooters. We got Jillian in the house.
Playing collections isn't enough for you?
Right. We got Dan Nasty. We got Jason Shears from Wet UK. We got Snake Eater 75.
So
we got Dewey Hernandez. We got Fabian Cross. We got Crimson Cross. The Cross Brothers. No, I don't know. We got Kid Gezi. Greetings from a land of unsuccessful consoles still waiting for Fairchild. Blah, blah, blah.
No, don't. You're not going to get Fairchild Channel F. That'll never
I don't know if we
happen.
want that. And we have Karsten, and we have Pete Sealing. We have Lord Arshabaski. I said that right?
Ashbuk.
I can see your hand there. Finger puppets. We got Andre Fours. We got RMGBTV. Let's see. Is there anybody that I missed? Okay, now the chat is caught up to speed. P10 puppetry. Wow. Anyways, I was like distracted. But yeah, no. For me, it's been a pretty good, busy work week. Always a lot of fun to come over here. But yeah, the news topic. We'll be dying to talk about that. Me and Rich had to hold back on calling all retro gamers.
Yes.
And which, by the way, if you haven't checked that out, we had a fantastic special guest.
Don't you mean Evercast too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was your special guest? I guess I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It was Cyrus Martin of the Super
Really?
Mega Graphics 64 channel.
I don't know that guy.
Yeah, he's
I
pretty cool.
do.
Oh,
I thought he stopped doing YouTube.
You
He
will
did
get
for a little bit, and then he came
will
back.
get-
I
And then
think,
he's like,
that's Cyrus. Yes, Cyrus.
Yeah.
you will get to know him because he's the first guest ever that actually, because usually I'm lucky if somebody will do like one Retro Kill Dash 9. He was the first guest ever where he did like several of them. Like
he kept wanting to do takes in different voices. It was great.
yes, yeah. He's giving me a lot of material. That's all I'm gonna.
That means that the next one is going to be 10 minutes long.
We're gonna ban this crow.
No. A minute's the max. No, that would feel like forever.
A minute's the max.
Executive
That's-
decision is going to be made about that.
Uh-oh. Your Pete's thinking, enjoy it while it's on your channel. Oh, cool. We're getting a game room tour here from Pete.
Nice.
I'm messing around with my webcam.
It feels like I'm looking at a security camera. It's moving back and forth.
Realistic counter.
Oh, I can get one of those little pedestals and just have it moving around. Just give you a look at my PlayStation collection, my Sega Saturn collection, my beautiful ceiling. Oh, can't see that. Oh. Oh. That's a sailboat my grandpa made me 45 years ago. Out of wood.
Wow. Before we do get into the news that we'll probably be talking about a lot on the show, I know I have a poll somewhere if I can find it.
I'm not even aware of any news.
I just watch Rich's channel for all the news for everything. It's like even Ballistic Copy Boy are my go-to places for news about stuff I really care about.
Yeah, I mean, well, Ballistic is like he is the retro news gumshoe when it comes to like Atari stuff. I don't know how he does it.
Did you just say gumshoe?
Yes, he's out there.
Thank God our audience understands that.
Stories.
Gumshoe.
Wouldn't be surprised if he has the fedora with the press.
Yeah,
press thing in there.
only our audience would get that.
He gets all the. It's awesome. But yeah, no, I love going back and forth with him too because he always has like a really good take, and then sometimes I'll have a different one. So like when I do my news line, it's always different. So, it's good.
Right.
Do I have gum on my shoe? Nice.
Oh man. But yeah, no. Before we go into that, I wanted to go to polls because I know it's funny how like topics will like take control of the whole show, which is great. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling. But so I was just curious. I did want to ask the audience because I think didn't Blaze say we are getting a new publisher, or they and I wanted to see if people thought we were getting a new publisher, and if they thought so, and that was great with 61 votes. What people thought, like 25% of people say none, 18% Sega, 31 Konami, 21 SNK, and then 5% of the people I said other explaining comments. I was curious to see what other people would think. Yeah, like Nick the Toy Collector, if you fingers crossed, Konami, Jason Shears, SNK. Any of the above would be great. Francisco says, does Hudson Soft still exist? Maybe access to some TurboGrafx minis.
That's kind of cool.
Well, Konami actually owns the Hudson stuff.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. But then he mentions like some Sega CD games like Soul Stars, Battle Corp Thunderhawk.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis, people always say Saturn, and then it's your host, if I said that right. That's fun to say. Hope we get Taito with Arkanoid and a Hyper Megatech battle.
Now we can't get Argonoid until we get a dial controller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trackball
Yes,
controller.
yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I published
100%.
something, but you didn't. But it's all good. And then Blaze confirmed we are getting a big publisher this year, but everybody's definition. Yeah, see that's the thing. And thank you, Ninja Skate. Everybody like definition is different, so that's what I was curious. Taito, Incenter, and then Mike Tendo Power. Will there be an Ocean collection? And then PK in the universe says, would love it to be Sega, but have a feeling it'd be Konami. If anything, if it's SNK, I will not be buying the cart. Just kidding. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, and I love the participation in these. What do you guys think? What's your definition of a big publisher? And do you agree with any of this poll, or what's your thoughts?
I don't know.
Wow, dead silence.
I'm just waiting and seeing. I'm not gonna speculate.
Yeah, I mean, so the only thing that I could say though, like, is, you know, they've mentioned like major publishers in various forms, right? There was a hint on the Evercade side. There was a direct reference to the word major publishers in the Hyper Mega Tech stuff. Like, I think things are moving. Like, there's some stuff that's behind the scenes that are moving. And they already had a Capcom agreement with the EXP, so they already have, like, that is a major publisher. So like when they use that terminology, I automatically assume that the next major publisher is someone like one of those three in that list, an SNK, a Konami, a Sega, something like that, right? Some people, it's a recognizable name, that kind of thing. So to be honest, I voted Sega.
I can guarantee one thing is going to happen. Guarantee this 100%. No matter what they announce, it won't be what we expect it to be. That I can tell you.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
So
you're right.
We speculated on this for 3 years. Like, every time we say, "Oh, what's the new collection? What's the new publisher? What's the new publisher?" I guarantee, history's proven, whatever they do announce, it's not going to be what we think it is. It's just the way they work, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, you know, it'll be something out of the blue, and we'll all go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about them." Oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's what I think. And if they come with one of these, people are just going to say, "Yeah, that makes sense."
I mean, that's true. That's true.
You know what though? And while we're on this topic of carts and things and whatnot and licenses, which would have been a great one, I think like last week or so, Microsoft isn't going to acquire, or they're not going to merge with Activision or whatever.
They're in appeal, right?
Yeah, for now it's being blocked by.
Yes.
Is it Canada and the UK?
No, Canada doesn't care. It's Europe.
But I wonder now if like because of that, if Sean can make a quick phone call, can we get the deal back on the table? Because that was the reason why that.
Right.
You know, I hope the deal doesn't go through. And this is just off the rails a little bit. And then I hope what they do is Activision goes, you know what? We're going to stay our own company, but we're now exclusively only producing games for PC and Microsoft. Sony, kiss our butt. And that's what I would do if I was them, just out of spite. I'm like, you know what, guys? We don't need you. You're no longer getting any of our games. Yeah, because Sony is the real reason this is all a big thing. And nobody's challenging them in their own market in Japan. It's like they've been running a monopoly for years, them and Nintendo. And U.S. companies can't get in. And they got the gall to challenge Microsoft, who wants to, do what they're doing. I think Sony and Nintendo both need to be put in a bag with rocks and thrown in the water.
Oh my goodness!
Like, they're both anti. Like, just what they do in the Japanese market is so bad.
That escalated very quickly.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
I was like,
yeah. No, I was just saying, because while we're on the topic, but like, to me, like, Activision, that would be another that would be another big. That would be like another big publisher, like that Atari Activision collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they go work with Atari and get the M Network games. That would be a big steal.
Yeah.
Now that Atari owns the M Network, those are all Intellivision games that were made for Atari, and a lot of times they're better on Atari.
Some people definitely feel that those games certainly they ran faster on the Atari 2600. If you play like Astro Blast versus Astro Smash, Astro Blast is like it's almost like a Twitch shooter on the Atari 2600.
Astro Blast, you can use the paddle controllers and play that.
Oh, that's true. That is very true. And on BCS, you're going to be able to use the classic spinner. So very, very neat.
You know what Evercade could wait to do, Blaze? Just wait for Atari to buy all of the retro publishing rights and just work with them.
And then just keep working with them. Yeah.
Right.
Just keep working with them. It's like, oh, now you own this. Oh, now you own this. Oh, okay. Can we, you know, because they're buying everything, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess like final thoughts on the poll though is, to be honest, I don't think it matters to me what it is.
Yeah, me neither.
But I just want it to be something that like the global retro community, maybe even like the tertiary retro community that doesn't necessarily keep their finger on the pulse for what Blaze is doing. I want it to have a big enough impact where they start coming back around and noticing again. Because again, we got a whole bunch of people looking at Evercade because of the EXP and the Capcom kind of thing going on. And it would be nice to then drop another one in the pond and then watch the ripple effect go through.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. So,
100%.
because as fans, we just want this all to continue. We want more collections.
Yeah.
We want to keep having fun, and that's how they. Realistically, when you're thinking about it in business terms, that's how it happens, right? They can only keep doing this as long as they can keep bringing in new people.
Yeah.
So,
my take is do one of those big splashes a year to grow the ecosystem and get the attention of, bigger media and stuff. But then that, for me, the rest should be just indie collections and like, that's what I want. Indie and arcade collections. That's all I want. I could care less about any more console collections, to be honest with you. I just want indies and arcades. Just indies and arcades. And some computer collections that don't suck. Like, really.
Console
yeah.
Right?
No,
I'm not saying the collections that we have suck. I'm not saying that. I'm just like, just keep making, like, because I'm a big fan of C64 one. Like, I actually really enjoy that. But again, I can't wait for the Amiga collection. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like console collections, they never made one. Only made one a year with a big publisher. I'd be okay with that. And if all their attention was on everything else, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, indie and arcade.
Oh, arcades are so untapped, right? There's literally must be 20,000 arcade games out there through the history. Crow, you know the number, 20,000. That sound right?
Yeah, maybe more or less. Probably a little less.
A little less. Okay.
Yeah. And see, this is why I love doing this like speculation and all that, because for me, like Evercade is all about the hype, and for me, it's not about the collections we have now. It's like the collections that we're getting or that we don't know that we could possibly be getting.
It's like Christmas morning, 12 times a year.
Yes.
Or whatever holiday you celebrate in which you get gifts, but like the expectation.
Festivus, 12 times a year.
And I know
but this is good because after you turn 12 or 13, you don't get toys or games very much for Christmas anymore.
Maybe
but now as adults, we're getting toys.
You know what?
Crow's got it right. It's like, maybe you know.
You know what? And you said something before we get into the news, interesting, Pete, about, and I'm kind of hoping the reason.
Ed, I always say interesting things. Just saying.
I had to make it better. Pete was interesting. No, but
I've changed my persona. I want to be the controversy on the channel because I'm tired of being, because I'm not natively just a really nice and positive guy, and I'm acting now. I'm trying to be negative, and it doesn't work out all the time.
Pete's turning heel.
Because Rich and Crow and you guys know me, like, I'm super positive. I'm like, but yeah, I want to be the Hulk Hogan. You remember? I've been watching NWO documentary. That's why.
I was about to make that.
That's great.
Rich knows where I come from. I saw the heel turn, but was Hogan? Hogan was always a heel, right?
I mean, he was definitely a face in the.
Yeah, but behind the scenes, he was a nice guy, right?
The anti-Canadian. That's what Jen Joke is saying. Before.
Wait, I already have that channel.
That's awesome. Look at no, so before I lose that thought, because you bring about like the console
Damn, I thought I distracted him enough.
But you bring up a good point, and I think this is why Blaze. One of the reasons why they made the purple, and they made like the blue, because they from a collecting standpoint. But I honestly think that at some point, and I kind of hope they do this, that I don't want them to permanently stop making the red collection. But I wouldn't mind if they took a break. I know, super distracted. I wouldn't mind if they took a break with the red collection, right? And then they say, what if we had a year where they didn't come out with any red cards? What I want them to do.
Oh, I'd be okay with that. I'd be 100% okay with that.
Because that's fine, but we got to get to 30 first.
Because we got the first couple years with red cards, so we could do it.
That's where I was going.
Reds, right? But I think Reds is an easy win for them. I think it's an easy win for its company, so I want them to have easy wins because they're probably a lot easier to get console versions. But man, my favorite, like I think I mentioned my 364.
These are red cards too.
My
Marathon. What I was gonna say is that
that's true, Crow. Yeah, that's why indies should have went yellow. They should.
Thank you. Yeah. That's where I was getting. I was gonna say I want them to do a shift and have the indie, the dual, the single game, whatever collection.
Yeah, but if they're gonna do that, then they're gonna because then you have
but
to.
But that's okay. They can make a shift.
The number order on the carts and stuff. Like, I don't know.
No, they could just stop it. They could just stop at 30 and then start all over from the.
Call that the classic edition, the classic collection, and then moving forward. Because there's something cool about like different color stuff too. Like, let's be honest, right? It's all cheese, and we love the cheese. So why not, go full bore with it, embrace it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see more blues, Lord, for sure.
Shelf all over the place. Yeah.
Blues and purples. Give me blues and purples all the time. And somebody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Eric's talking about colors, are like, what is he talking about? He wants blues and purples.
So before we jump straight in,
before we jump to the news,
the big news.
There's big news.
I just want to shout out. I don't know if you guys noticed anything going on over the Evercade Fans Hub, but I just want to shout out the Evercade Fans Hub real quick on Facebook.
Who are those guys?
What's up?
Who are those guys?
Apparently, Vaughn over on the Evercade Fans Hub has started one of those, like, I guess the pick'em matchup things. He calls it the Evercade.
The World Cup.
So that's live now on the Fans Hub.
What is it?
It's basically like a survey where we're picking like favorite games and and it goes through all the different rounds and stuff. So let's see what the first five are. I can't necessarily show my screen.
Oh, I can tell you. The first one is just go over there because it's too much to say. But oh my gosh, I do it on these every year.
There's like 17 different options, 20 different options per vote in the first round, and then there's 5 rounds. There's 5 matchups right now. So
I have to go there and do double.
You got to go in there and you put in your votes. Like, just for example, it's stuff like in the first 20 and the first post, it's like Double Dragon 3, World Rally, P47, Snow Brothers, Street Fighter 2, Night Driver, Fantastic Dizzy, Remnant, Rival Turf, Deader.
Make sure you expand the list, everybody, when you go there, because it looks like it's only 5 selections, but you got to expand the list.
It's way more than that. And everyone's voting in that top 5.
Yeah,
and then like things that are on the bottom of the list, like there's some pretty cool stuff. Somebody added an option. Who added California games?
Crow probably.
Come on,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
so on the Evercade Fans Hub on Facebook, there's
I'm not on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in years.
Well, then there you go. So you don't. To be honest, I had to participate.
I had to take a break from Facebook because. Let's just maybe they've done a better job moderating it, but there was too many too many conversations of people trashing.
Oh, Evercade Fans Hub? Yeah, I got really couple good fans on there that just lambast me all the time. I think it's kind of funny. It's like they call they judge my videos off the thumbnail, and I'm like, you don't get YouTube people.
Dude, that's what drove me crazy. So that's why I've turned off comments, because people wouldn't watch it. So my whole thing is that if you have comments or want to say stuff direct me, grab your cojones, go to my channel and post it there. Face me. I didn't want to get like, I don't want to get like, for some people out there, I was just getting like too many alerts. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, it just when you just like want to live your life and don't want drama. So maybe I'll pop back in there, but I kind of feel like Discord is moderated a lot better. Like Sean doesn't put up with that nonsense. Either does Ryan people.
It's hard, right? Because different countries have different value systems too, right? Like different moderation systems. Like what me as a Canadian thinks is acceptable or funny or in jest is different than what maybe an American or a Brit or a French person does, right? Like I don't mind getting the piss, taking the piss. That's a British thing. Like the guys come in and they think it really impacts me. If they get nasty, I just ban them and move on. But I don't really take it personally. like I just posted I forgot to post my video on Evercade group, the main one, their own. It's much worse than Fan Hub. I think Fan Hub is pretty fantastic. I think the guys do a lot of good job over there too.
Yeah, the admin team does a like a really good job kind of keeping the peace in there, and it does get a little. It does get a little rowdy, but I mean, you got 2,000 people in a group, No,
I mean, it's fine.
You're always going to have somebody, right?
It's fine to bust balls.
If you think that's bad, go to the Miko one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe it's gotten better now, but I'm just saying, like, where people they post comments that are just like that, or they post a thing that's just negative, like they'll just say like Evercade just sucks, or like people will just like pile on, and then they won't.
Well, I mean, that's what happens everywhere. It's just that's the internet.
This may sound funny, but the only reason I stayed on Facebook as long as I did is because occasionally I'd see an ad for something I'd be interested in, because that's how I found out about like premium edition games.
Nice.
And then it's like I kept seeing all these posts. I didn't really care what anybody was posting, so I was like, I stopped just going.
I find Facebook like. I don't use it very often, obviously.
No,
I don't use Twitter either, but I do find Facebook really good at getting local news, like local stuff that's in my area, like in my little suburb and stuff. Facebook tends to do a much better job of giving me that, which is really cool because like all of a sudden I'll see, oh, there's a water shut off in my area, and I can go click on it, and it'll be just interesting. So it's weird that they do that quite well.
I'll just get my local news from my wife. She has all the information.
Well, that's what I was going to say. My wife is on Facebook. I broke free from that. If there's anything important, and actually now, like where I live, like they'll send you like texts, or they'll call you, and
No, she's got this direct feed
automated. There's like
from the police
if there's
department.
things and all that. Yeah, no. And like I said, I know those guys do a great job. Maybe I'll look there. It's just, and they did clean up a lot of stuff. But for me, like I just took a break from Facebook and in general. The other thing too that I'm
really bad at social media. That's my thing.
Well, that I like about Discord. Is it's a live conversation. Like you can post, you can get instant feedback. Like people, it's more difficult for people to pile on, which would drive me nuts.
The really funny thing is, like how they say not to, like, remember like maybe 20, 30 years ago, they were always saying, don't use your real name on the internet. Don't use your real name on the internet. And now everybody wants you to use your real name on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
What's funny though is like now I don't know if you've used the McDonald's mobile ordering thing.
No.
But when I do the mobile orders to McDonald's, they literally think my name is Crow Continuum.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I gotta get my app. I don't eat McDonald's because I just can't eat it. It tastes great for that 10 minutes, and then
it kind of surprised me for the first time I did it. They're like, "Is this for Crow?" I was like,
"Yeah, I'm the Crow."
Yeah, it is.
You should just said that's Mr. Continuum, please.
That's awesome.
Only my murder calls me Crow. It's Mr. Continuum to you. That's murder, Crow.
It works the other way around. It's like, Mr. Continuum was my
I could
father.
guarantee you, like, I would, it would be an embarrassment if I like put like a reservation in Retro Kill-9 and like Retro Kill-9, and then I would have to go Retro Kill-9. Yeah, no, I would never. No, that would be.
If I want a burger,
if we were hanging out, that'd be different. But no,
if I want a burger, I'm gonna go to like Fat Burger. That's my go-to burger place. You guys have Fat Burger?
Well, we don't around here. There's a local place that's kind of like one of those chain burger places.
Fat Burger's an American chain, I think. Like
we got Five Guys.
Well, we have Five Guys too, but Fat Burger is so much better.
Kenneth J.R. We always talk about food. Maybe because it's balance. No, it's kind of funny. 30 minutes to get into the news.
Hey! What, you in a hurry?
No. But I was gonna say it's funny because on Carg it was like 45 minutes until like we actually said the name of our guest. Like I think we got it. We forgot, and Rich is like,
yeah, that is very.
Was
true.
he waiting in the back for 45 minutes?
No. We were talking about other stuff, but like we didn't introduce him properly and really say his name and all that.
Gotta get better at being host. That's all. Go to the host school.
Yeah, just get good.
Yo,
just get good. I mean, come on.
You have some hostess cupcakes.
What's the name of? Oh wait, is Cyrus's channel the N64 channel?
Well, it's Super Mega Graphics 64.
Did he
so
change
I'm subscribed to that.
Super and 64 for Nintendo, Mega as in Mega Drive, Graphics as in Turbo Graphics.
I mean, did he change his channel name to that?
Yes.
Cyrus Martin. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm subscribed.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, and it's good stuff. He does a lot of really awesome work over there.
Yeah, he's got a really good radio voice. I find he does have
that. Yes.
Cyrus has really good radio voice.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Maybe see the funny thing, good hosts, because we are good hosts because we all like the stuff to come out. Or I'm a good host, or organically. You know what I mean? Like you don't want something to be like super rigid.
That's interesting.
And all that. And we did get his interest in Evercade, which is kind of funny. Like he was asking us questions, not quite ready to pull the trigger. But I think we got him that much closer to maybe just getting like the cheapest option for the VS or the OG white handheld. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to this breaking news. And actually, Rich, because you were the one that found this, so I'll put the spotlight on you, buddy.
Well,
so.
Let's be honest. You found official word.
I have to take that hat tip and give it right back to Rick Allen, who was the person that first got to me on Facebook, DM'd me directly, and it's like, hey, check out this little post that I found with this little nugget from somebody from Collectorvision saying that there's going to be a collection.
Oh, I saw that.
At least something that's going to be cooking up, and I'm like, okay. And then I posted.
No, I saw this.
And friend of the channel, Crimson Cross, right after that was like, "Oh no, wait! In an interview, they actually said this," and then like put out another post. So like the story kind of just blew up. And on the Collectivision side, they basically confirmed that.
Well, like about a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago, just during the pandemic, Gamester 81 with one of his company partners, like because there's 4 or 5 of them, Collectivision, we're just having a impromptu stream, and they were talking about retro tech. They were talking about Amico at the time and Atari VCS and Evercade. And his partner asked him, or his friend asked him, "It's like you guys should think about going on Evercade." And he goes, "Yeah, we're in discussion." So we mentioned it 2 years ago in a 30-second blip on one of his own videos, but I never caught any traction.
Here's the thing:
there's something even more now, though. Like they're actually
for sure, yeah.
But here's the thing: what he let loose, what he said, made me think: was he supposed to say that?
I don't think he was supposed to say that.
Wouldn't that be the kind of thing he should be under NDA for?
Well, I guess you would think so. And the weird thing was the place where it was said. Like it was said in the Evercade official group. So if it wasn't supposed to be there, you figured that post would be just goodbye, see ya.
They've had leaks before, and then they would have just, as soon as the leak happened, they would have just posted the video or something.
Guerrilla marketing, man.
But the thing is, though, like a lot of the team is actually like out of country right now. For Blaze, so like they're like doing other things that I have no idea what they're doing, but they're not around. So like this story is just kind of like floating around in the ether. So and if it's true, like it is unfortunate because yes, they normally would just start dropping trailers and that kind of thing to confirm. I was very, very surprised that this Friday there wasn't something that dropped because usually that is their MO. Like, oh, okay, all right, it's fine, then let's just say it. But it could be because they're all away. There just isn't enough time to put the video together or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, but it looks very, very much so like it's like this is going to happen.
So what are we getting? Like some Sydney Hunter games and
you went with specifics on games.
Well, the rumor was it's a 4-game cart.
It's the same game 4 times.
Well, it's one of the Sydney Hunter for Super Nintendo, the Sydney Hunter game that was released on Sega Master System, one of the 2 that was on Intellivision, and a 4th game that is kind of like a maze game, like a Pac-Man-ish kind of game.
I'm curious. Are these games on Steam?
It's possible. Well, let's see. What is?
That's great. It should be ignited. Yeah, that's great. That is so. Nice. I was wondering if anybody was going to say.
No, I don't think so. Nope, not.
That's awesome, Jason. Yeah, it's a big national.
Yeah, the Sydney Hunter games are pretty good, but if that's what's there, I'm a little disappointed because I would expect them to go for a bigger swath of non-Sydney Hunter games. I mean, Sydney Hunter's their flagship title, but 3 of them seems a bit weak to me.
Hey, they did it with Speedball.
Yeah, I mean, so like I guess to be more specific as far as the Sydney Hunter titles go, the Super NES one was Caverns of Death.
Yeah, I have that.
The the Sega Master System one was Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe, which is, I mean, Sega Master System. You got my attention. Let's go. Like, I mean, I'm all in on that one. And then on the Intellivision, there was another version of Sacred Tribe that I doubt that they would put that on there. And the other Intellivision game was Sydney Hunter and the Shrine of Peril.
Is that
so
a homebrew?
I would imagine that would be the one.
Is that the
three, so you can get those differences. And then I'm gonna try to find out the name.
Wait, is that a television one? Isn't that new homebrew that came out like recent, like something like the last year? Or
Shrine of Peril? It was in 2014 apparently.
Okay. Good.
And the Sacred Tribe came out in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all homebrew.
Saying he's played them. I guess they're unique from each other, but I don't know. They have like 60 games. It's like, or more than that now. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind if you're gonna put 3 Sydney Hunters there. Give us 3 other games too, right?
The collector, yeah, Collectivision itself. I mean, hey, here, let me just share the list here. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I mean the list is pretty wild. You know, like here we're at the bottom of the list. Zombie Near and Zippy Race and all that kind of stuff. I was actually looking for the other game on this list, but there's a lot of stuff that's licensed, right? You know, Zaxxon, you got Wizard of War here, you got Vanguard, all those are, double license issue, right? So you do all that kind of stuff. But stuff like, I don't know what Tank Mission or Tank Challenge is, but that would be kind of cool. There's the Sydney Hunters that are right here.
I'm gonna hook up. I have all the Collectivision's games on my Phoenix. Let me turn that bad boy on.
Super Minefields from Intellivision. That looks kind of cool. There's all sorts of stuff.
So here's what I wonder, because kind of like with the market, like the Micro Mages or the Morph Cat collection, that came out with 4 games, and they had a flagship game like the Micro Mages. That like on itself is like $10. I wonder, is that the case with one of these Sydney Hunters, and maybe that's why we're only getting 4 because they're kind of recent, they're aftermarket.
Well, yeah, it's possible. It's possible that's how that's going. I mean, and again, just to like remind people, we do have a Collectivision title already on Evercade because it's Princess Quest.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Now, for me, I think this is pretty neat. Getting some aftermarket games that like I would never get in physical copy or really have a way to play them. Yeah. If you can even still get them in physical copy, so it's.
Puyin, is this that game?
It's the one with the pigs. And
they did it! Oh my god! And we're not getting. Oh man, I love that. I love Puyin, dude. I remember playing that originally, like a port of it on the 2600 back in the day, and like on CoinOps on my Steam Deck. Oh, I love playing the arcade version of that. Dude, I wish we were getting that.
Nibbly, Son of Nibbler.
So now maybe is there some disappointment? They have like a huge library and we only get like 4 games. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but but that's sometimes that's how you get the ball rolling, right?
Yeah, of course.
You put out the little cartridge, you see how that goes. Mario Brothers, we're not getting that one.
No.
And then they keep rolling out some stuff. I mean, and again, we're seeing a lot of other stuff. Locomotion and Lock and Chase. I mean, those are licensed titles that would be somewhere elsewhere. Kung Fu Master would be somewhere elsewhere. Jungle Hunt would be somewhere elsewhere. Where is?
I have the Collectivision Phoenix, and a part of that I got at the time I got all of the Collectivision games. So which is the one that's coming? What's it called?
That would be kind of cool.
No, the 4th one projected to come.
Oh, I'm actually trying to find it right now in the list.
I didn't know what the name of it.
Well, so actually,
Zam?
Let me go back to
what was the leak? It was the 3 Sydney Hunters, and what was the 4th one?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm actually. Let me go back into my
Maze games
here.
Yeah.
Is it Maze Zam, Mind Walls, Memotech?
Oh wait, is it in here?
Yeah, because I'm one of the few people in the world that has their Collectivision Phoenix. That is a brand, the console they made that plays ColecoVision games.
Yeah, I want to buy those too.
8 other cores. Yeah. It's really Jester.
It's Jester. Thank you, Crimson.
Jester, yeah.
What's it called?
He's saying it like 7 times.
Is it called Jester?
Jester, yes. That's the name of the game. So let me
I
go
thought
down.
you
you
were saying
think?
it is Jester, like somebody in the chat was called Jester. Sorry.
Jester.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Ooh.
Is
Oh,
it
go
a?
down? Okay. That
There
looks
you
really
go.
cool.
Oh, Phoenix Games. Maybe it's under Phoenix Games.
Oh, wait.
Ooh.
I have Princess Quest. That's not
Look
it.
at that there. See, it's got the Acclaim logo on there. I forgot that they scooped that up, didn't they?
Was this an
Collectivision.
unreleased Acclaim game or something?
Let's see.
I think it'll be a good collection. I mean, yeah, you always want more, but it is. I mean, and don't get me wrong, Sydney Hunters, but it is interesting. Like 3 of the same.
Jester is a tribute to
Same.
King's Jester, one of the games available on the VideoWay system in the 90s.
Huh.
That's kind of cool.
Oh God. Oh God.
Neat.
You know
Cheetah,
what?
man.
You know what though? I don't, and I wouldn't blame Blaze. Like, there's a whole like stink around that, and like, let's just say, a group of people re-releasing that and trying to patch it to make it playable. And I don't think Blaze wants.
Yeah, I don't think
that.
that's a thing. That should be.
Oh no. Oh man.
But
yeah, I think this is going to
really
be
cool.
great, and I think it'll be leaving us wanting more.
I mean, look at all this stuff in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's all sorts of plethoras of stuff here.
Historically, has Blaze released a collection 1 and 2 within the same year, like the same
Yes.
physical?
Yes.
In Television 1 and 2.
Okay.
Atari 1 and 2. Namco 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Back in the beginning. Okay.
Yes.
So we made
Literally,
okay. So,
Links
Interplay
1 and 2. They literally came out
Okay.
together, Links 1 and 2.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know why I was thinking. Okay, well that's why I asked you guys. No, so that's
Oh,
good that
sweet.
we could get a second collection the same year. I know, like Toplin collection, we got that at the end. Same with C64.
Yeah.
That's the Phoenix right there.
Oh wait, let's put you up. Let's put you in solo.
Rising
There
from
we
the
go.
There it
That's
is.
the Phoenix.
Nice.
Yeah, that thing is cool.
And I'm using and it's got a. You can use the Super Nintendo controller too.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
you should do an updated video on that if you want.
Does it take USB controllers? Just out of curiosity.
Nope.
Nice.
I'm playing Frostbite.
Ah.
Nice.
Yeah, but all of this is really cool, and hopefully, we'll get the.
I gotta get their Vault 2. I think it's on Vault 2 because I only have Vault 1, which has 50 games on it, and I don't have Jester.
Got it.
But yeah, that looks exciting. I mean, I think it'll be good, and maybe we'll get a second collection because I try not to think about what we're missing. I know, I try not to think about like a FOMO on something, but sometimes it's difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So here's another random thing about collections, and maybe Crow knows this. On the Toplin 2, what's the first game? Firehawk or whatever. Like, does that game end or does it keep looping? That's what I was going to ask.
On 1, almost
2.
all the. On 2, I haven't played anything on 2 yet.
Okay.
But to give you a heads up, on 1, I think only one of the games had an ending.
Okay. Because Firehawk, like I've been playing that for an hour. I'm like, wait a second. I think I recognize the beginning.
Yeah,
levels.
I know. Like with 1, I was playing 1 for a while, and I looked it up, and it turns out that it's one. I can't remember which one it was. It was either Tiger Heli or another one where like every stage you land the plane or the helicopter, and then you take off and move on. It turns out that the end there was only 4 stages, but the end of stage 4 kind of melds into the beginning of stage 2. So you don't even realize you're going from stage 4 to stage 2 unless you know that that's what's happening. And then you have these deja vu. Like, didn't I play this already?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, what was that other game? Like P57, I think on the Jailco or whatever. I can't remember.
Well, that one was different because I knew right off the bat that went back to the beginning because it tells you like an introduction to each stage. And it's like, oh, this is the first stage again, because that's what it said. But like with these toe plan ones, they just continue. There's no break. There's no change of scenery or nothing.
Yeah.
Really, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Those games were meant to be played for a high score anyway. So
yeah. No,
it's
I've
just
been
kind of annoying though because they have the story that goes with
I've been
it.
enjoying those, and I think I like Tate mode, and I think I can play longer than 20 minutes. You know, I think I do. I think I do. But no, I didn't.
I love it when John Hancock, who's one of the definitive voices in retro, calls it tape mode.
Yeah, tape mode.
I
Like
love
a
it.
tater.
But he does both. I think he's just trolling everybody.
Yeah.
He's one of the. I'd like to meet him someday at a convention.
Yeah, I've met him 3 or 4 times. He's been on my old channel before. Super nice guy. I met him and Reggie. Reggie gets a lot of flack, but I met him and Reggie at the Vancouver Retro Game Show a couple times, and they're just really like us. They just love video games, and their knowledge of games is just amazing. But I've met John Hancock about 6 times now at Phoenix, at Portland and Vancouver Retro Expo. Just a super down to earth guy that for what I've met of him, like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him a friend or anything, but like he's pretty. Seems like a pretty nice guy.
Yeah, yeah, and I just I like that he taught like some of these like different systems and things, and like I don't know, maybe I wouldn't know about are these kind of cool after homebrew market games that maybe someday might end up on like an Evercade. Like he has his like own collection. I think I commented, I said like, dude, I would love to see that in Evercade, and then he like responded like, yeah, I would too. So you never know. But so here's what's like with the. And I want to touch on something because I agree kind of when you said earlier about getting like a good computer collection. Now, I don't want to take anything away from people that like the C64, and that's why like even in my latest video I said I didn't grow up with it, but it's different, right? Like just from like the way the controls feel to the graphics to how that system couldn't do like sound and audio. But like Impossible Bubble, like that was the one game like I kind of like really got into, and I don't know. We'll see. For me, those collections are more about discovery. Like it's not something that I would go back and play a lot. But like the Amiga, the graphics, that seems, I think that might be more my jam. But I'm hoping that'll be the start. And if we do see another C64 collection at Blaze, I hope we see a different publisher and get exposed to some different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 publishers in the C64 collections. Usually it's Epix, obviously, and then Hewlett. And even when you see something like Racket, that's still Hewlett.
Gotcha.
Racket was their budget label name.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's one of those ones where there is some fun there's some fun to be had, but and I kind of summed up that it's that it's like if unless you're like us where you're gonna have to buy every single cart or you're willing to C64, like you could skip it. I don't know, that's kind of my.
Don't skip it. I haven't even played it yet. Don't skip it.
Like I haven't played it. It's just. It's just
I don't know why I was saying Hewlett. I was probably thinking of Hewlett Packard. Hewson. But at least though, I will say we do get the Toplin collection. We get like a really good arcade collection to balance it out, and like arcades. I haven't been disappointed with one yet. That's all I can say. Like they've always been good. Even the first Atari, even though we don't have the controls the way. Even though we don't have Asteroids Deluxe.
I don't care about that. But,
I was going to experiment. I think I was going to experiment with that and see if I could fix it myself.
That'd be funny. You may get in trouble.
I probably could. I probably could do it. I just don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely different. Even like the Defender clone, like I was kind of like trying to figure out. And I know it's funny because like somebody commented like, "Yeah, you really need to read the manuals and all that," Or they called it a review, and I was like, "No." I'm like, it's not a review, and I'm like, I think it is value because I like to give the impression, say, if you were just to dive into this with little or no knowledge, how would you be able to do it? Because for me, pick up and play is a really big thing.
It's an important thing, but. Again, if you really know how to play the game, sometimes when you really get into the game and you know all the ins and outs, sometimes that can be entertaining as well.
Yeah.
I think a game has got a great game is one where anybody could just jump in and start to play it, but then there's layers upon layers you could just keep digging deeper and deeper in.
Well, that's what I like about like the classics, like something like Pac-Man, or like something like looks very simple, easy to play, but difficult to master. Because here's kind of my thinking on that, right? All the RPGs that like I've ever played, I've never really had to like dive like super into documentation. Even something like Cathedral, like yes, I may have looked at it afterwards, but I kind of felt like I could jump into it and figure it out. But at the same time, I don't like how a lot of AAA games will hold your hand. Like mobile games really bad. Like I just want to be able to jump into a game and play it.
Cathedral, to be fair, Cathedral was set up in a way where you didn't have to look at the manual, where it kind of walked you through the different things as you approached them. But that's different, I think. That's not like one of these older games where they didn't have really the memory to teach you that stuff. You had to look at the manual.
Right. But kind of want to say, like, I don't want a full blown on tutorial. Like that was almost even too much. But I don't want my handheld. Like I just want to be able to figure it out without frustration. If that makes sense, you know what I mean. Like I should be able to figure it out. But that's just me though. And again, if it's something like you like this, I do have fun though. Like the first looks and like going through all that and the discovery. Like for me, that's where it's a lot.
There have been games on the Evercade where I did not like them at first. But then after I played it for like an hour or so and looked at the instructions and looked at documentation, I completely changed my mind on this. I think I can't remember like exactly which ones they were, but I think like on the Commodore 64 Collection 1, I would like to say that. I think like Impossible Mission is one of those ones where you need to it takes you. I think that's one of the ones actually, Impossible Mission, because I never understood that game, what I was supposed to do, until I finally understood that you're supposed to overlay the pieces on top of one another to create the codes you needed to open the door. I didn't know those pieces were supposed to go on top of one another.
Yeah. I mean, see, the other thing too, which definitely I'll admit I may be biased towards, that could color my opinion, is that when you kind of go back into that, like, let's say that era of computer around like Atari, something like that, like you could just pick it up and you could just like play it, right? Like most of the Atari, like some of the games, yes, maybe you had to look up a little bit. Most of the games you could just kind of like pick up and play, and not and not have that not have that frustration. If I kind of had to compare it to something, closer than that. I'm glad that they did go down that route. I know because they're a European-based company, there's a lot of people that want that. C64 was hugely popular over there. I think it's glad that it exists, but I do want to, it's kind of about like some good, like the Amiga collection, like that excites me. Like that excited me some. I was like, oh, I kind of wish we were gotten that now, but we'll get it at the end of this month. So
I was just thinking, like, where I was just talking about modifying the cart, and I was just thinking about how I was looking at Indie Heroes 2, and I was looking at the description of one of the games, and they used the word colors several times, and it was spelled with the U because that's the UK spelling. I was like thinking, I need to go in there and take out all those U's.
Wow. Dude, I was going to say, you better not get a Steam Deck. You'll like be tweaking it too much. You'll be like lost.
I have my own PC I keep tweaking. So I'm good.
There you go. True. But all good, definitely all good stuff. I just really, the other thing I wanted to say, I really hope, because Blaze keeps teasing us about this, that in the next firmware update we get per game button mapping.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because on the Topolin 2 collection, there's that one side scroller. I don't have it in front of me, can't remember. And this could really be any game.
You're talking about it's Guardian is what you're thinking of, or that original Japanese name, Get Star.
No. The other one, really like the little wizard guy.
You're talking about Wardner. You're talking about Topolin.
Yeah, Wardner. Yeah. And and maybe that's just muscle memory, so I can adapt where like jump and attack or switch, but every now and then when I get to some tricky platforming, I'll accidentally die because my brain wants to hit like the other button, even though I've adapted to it. So like I'd really like to fix it to be able to swap like B and A like it's supposed to. If it's a shooter or something where there's only one button, I don't care like really where that is.
Well, it's funny. It's like you're mentioning that, but I'm literally struggling with the Grunio Circa collection on Indie Heroes 2 because the buttons are like for the menu and everything are different. So like here, the action button for in the game is this, but then you go to the Evercade menu and you have to remember that this is the action button and that's cancel. It's like reverse every time you go back and forth between the game and the menu.
Exactly, they're mapped backwards, and then I can actually play Street Fighter 2 and give like an opinion on it too once I can.
Yeah, I kind of felt that too, but then I just got used to hitting. Because the thing is with the arcade controller,
I'm hoping so, Jason.
I'm using an arcade stick with the arcade, and that's less of an issue just because you're using the same fingers to hit all the buttons anyway.
So for me, like I remember back in the day, like to get a good fight stick, like they were like $100, like they were like really expensive, and so for me, like for one game, as much as I love Street Fighter, I wasn't going to like spend that kind of money. and I played it like a hell of a lot more on the console, and I got so used to it that I really liked, using it with the Super Nintendo controller. And my style of playing specifically is with the low jabs and with the strong punches. I don't use medium like too much unless certain abilities require. Or sometimes you need that, but it's like maybe you want to throw a Hadouken like at a medium range, and so I'll use it for that. But I won't use it just for like a hit, maybe for just a special ability. So for me, because of muscle memory, like I really need those buttons to be mapped a certain way for me to have that game be playable, because it's just a medium punch just like hits a lot differently. Like and that's the way the game is designed. So. And then I'll probably get the button maps, and I'll be like, "Yeah, this game is too hard because it's too fast." But at least need to try it, right?
Did you say arcade controllers used to be too expensive because they were $100?
Well, they still. I mean, okay, they still are. But when you're a kid, like put it this way, when like a Super Nintendo, they get close to be the price of a console, it's like, no, I can't justify for one controller, and then you need two of them.
I spent more money on that controller than I did on a couple of these Evercade systems combined.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that. Like nowadays you can get them, but I'm talking like back in the day, like from a kid's perspective, then you would at least need two controllers because you and your buddy to make it fair. They'd be like, oh, you're only winning because of the controller. So like two controllers would be over the cost of a Super Nintendo. And because I had already adapted to the Super Nintendo controller, like I wasn't just gonna, think of all the games.
Buy his own controller.
That wouldn't be fair. But I'm just saying, like, I was just giving some backstory of why I played it a hell lot more on the D-pad.
I don't know if I brought this up on this podcast, but there are people that prefer to play with like a gamepad rather than an arcade stick, to the point to where I remember when Tekken 5 was in the arcade, they actually had a PS2 controller port, so people could bring their own gamepads and plug that into the arcade machine to play with their gamepad, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. For me, like, I got really used to that, because the funny thing is, like, when me and my friends would boot up the game, we would all have like our button, like our remappings memorized. So it's like you'd go in like 2 seconds, and then the great thing too is there was a key combination, like between, like, you didn't have to go back to the start menu, like from the character select screen. You could press some key combination where you could go into a button remapping. Like Capcom knew people would want to do that without having to like reset the game. But yeah, some people prefer. I mean, I think if I had played it more in the arcade, now I do enjoy like the arcade experience, like on a real arcade machine or an emulated, or something like that games. But because Evercade natively has a D-pad and it's on handheld mode, that's what I want.
Well, yeah, if you're using the handle, I keep forgetting that because I use the VS so often that I'm not even used to the gamepad anymore. So I don't, and I play the EXP not that often, and when I do, it's usually something really simple that's got one button anyway.
Right.
Oh yeah, you can go really crazy with arcade controllers. Yeah, here it's not uncommon for a Hori arcade controller for a console to run $200 easy.
For me, I'm kind of torn in the middle, right? Because like I know they have like the 8-bit Do ones are $100, but I think like so for me, having just, let's say, like a controller, while sometimes I want it, that's like half the arcade experience for me personally. Like if I'm going to do that, I'd like an at-games, or I would like something that would emulate the full arcade cabinet experience, and that's just me, because it's like for an arcade, it is about the joystick, but it is about like the whole cabinet and all that. If I'm going to go D-pad, I want to go full on D-pad. But that's just me, though. I mean, so I think that's why I do that. But I mean, if you like arcade sticks, I mean, that's fine. Paddles are kind of different, because that's like that for me. That really changes the way to play games. But I don't think we'll get paddles anytime soon. And that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either. But yeah, with the arcade controller though, my advice is just to get one you can customize, because then you can replace the buttons and the joystick and all the pieces of the joystick if you want. You can adjust the springs and stuff. It's really crazy at the amount of stuff you can customize on an arcade controller.
I think if I played more of the VS than handheld, then maybe, because there are some times where I would want an arcade stick, but not enough. That's But I like that Evercade gives that flexibility, right? You can even like plug in like an Xbox controller or whatever you want.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I didn't really consider them thinking about coming out with their own personal controllers, because you wouldn't be able to use it on the handheld, and you could already use whatever controller you want on the VS.
Exactly. And I think with me, like, well, like if they did get like we had a pedal controller tomorrow, it'd be nice. But I think because there's so many different games and so many different things coming out, just for Evercade and other consoles, I think I've gotten over that. Like there's so many games.
For me, all they need to do is add in compatibility for the Atari 2600 control paddles, because I have the adapter that you can plug them into a USB port and play with them, use them.
You do, but you're probably the only Evercade person that does. Evercade owner that has that, though.
I'm probably not the only other. It's a popular adapter, the 26 adapter 2, I think I have.
Yeah, but I bet there's like a small percent. It'd be cool to have that, but I'd like them to come out with like some other pedal option, like for like under $30.
Yeah, I think Pete is having an error raid.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, is it you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 12 o'clock on the first Saturday of the month.
What's going on?
Oh, it's every noon, and when it's noontime on the first Saturday of the month, they do the flood siren test over here.
Oh.
That's interesting. Why do they do it on Saturday? Why not a weekday? Because
I don't know.
Our tornado warning test on the weekday, like every Tuesday.
It's just
they want to
Saturday.
wake everybody up. No,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure if people go back to like every beginning of the month Evercast, and we go late, this always happens.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it is the Silent Hill siren. I forgot to tell you guys. Actually, I live in Silent Hill. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. So
it really does sound like it now. I can't not think of that.
That's great. But yeah, if Evercade does make these other adapters, but I think it kind of goes back to I really just want them to be able to buckle down on features like per button game app, things that like other emulation devices have. Come out with carts, make sure the quality control is there, make sure there aren't any other like patches, things like that.
Well, I mean, when you were talking about per game, isn't it coming in the next update?
I hope so, but the last 2 updates they've been saying that, and then they're like, "Oh, well, we have it. There's issues." And for me personally, I don't understand why per game button mapping is that difficult for them to implement. It's like the standard thing that you'd see like in every emulator since the beginning of the first emulator, right? Like I don't get why that's so hard. I mean, I'm not a programmer or anything, but I would think a feature like that would be a no-brainer. So hopefully we will.
Yeah.
And people, some people will say we're overly too positive. Hey, if there's something like that, that we want, and that's why I still kind of stand by. Same with Turbo, like being that we have Turbo, like being that we have Turbo on the NES games. Why couldn't they just make that available for every game when they have per button game mapping? And now we have 2 extra buttons. So
yeah.
Well, you mean Turbo for like an NES games compared to any other console?
Well, no, like that's natively in the NES games because we have like 2 extra buttons. I'm just saying, take that same mapping and apply that to anything where you could just map 2 other buttons and have Turbo in there.
People
are telling me to switch the radio on.
Are you sure? It seems to be going on really long.
Yeah, I mean, it's we haven't had that much rain. It's not actually happening. It really is going on a lot longer than I thought it would be, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I might be a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't tell if Carson's being sarcastic, and the reason I say this because it's a quality of life feature that's already built into the emulator. That's why that's built into emulators. That's why that's why I'm harping on it. It's not like something new like online play that's really complicated. I'm sure we'll get it.
Yeah, everything is well, Siren.
Yeah,
it's an alien invasion. Yeah,
maybe cool.
Maybe I'll receive an alien abduction. But wait, that's actually on my VCS right now.
Wouldn't that be funny if like you captured like the first like alien invasion? I finally get over my 1,000 subs, but the world is doomed, so it doesn't matter.
Everyone's like, quick, nice. Oh my goodness.
Siren is a good prompt for riches. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I would love to pitch that. Yeah, we started that on Friday, the Retro Riches Restorations show, where I do things like take things that are in a bin that was either things that were stored in my garage or in the basement when all of the water that our friendly flood siren warns us about came into the house. And then I do things like try to clean it all up. And this past week's, this Friday's episode was about this guy right here, which is a Game Boy Advance that had a light and a copy of Tetris in it. This is exactly the way it was when I found it in the pile. It had all of these things on it, connected as it was. Took them all apart, cleaned them up, and I don't know. You want to find out what happens when I flick this switch? You gotta watch the episode. I will say though, especially for Good Times Club members, that'll probably find out maybe later on today or tomorrow, depending upon when I can get that up for you guys. This series is literally an experiment, so I do not know whether or not when I go and do the 15-20 minutes of cleaning, whether when I put it in, will it turn on or not? I don't know. And you will find out that sometimes the answer is no. And, sometimes the answer is shocking. So just putting it out there, but it's a fun
literally shocking.
I mean, I was shocked at what I found in the second time I tried to do it.
It's going to be Emperor Palpatine shocking.
Yes, Emperor Palpatine jumps out of a cartridge. And
no, I can't wait to see it, man, because I know you. So here's what's great about Rich's channel that I like is that will there be times like this where things clear up in his personal life and work, and then we'll just get bombarded with a lot of great content.
That's
and then
true.
there are times where then we don't get videos. So it's neat though. So I kind of feel like when good stuff starts up like this, it's great though, right? Like usually when there's a break, it's gonna like a signal for new things to come out. We always see new weird random things on this channel, and
you can come on over and have some fun. And then and then speaking of alien abductions, as soon as I can get the store to work out for me on the Atari VCS, because it's a dice roll for me. I buy things on the Atari VCS right when they come out, and sometimes I have to wait for a day or two for them to show up in my download list so I can actually download them.
That's weird.
Kind of a sad face. I don't know, some weird glitch on the store. I don't know if it's for legacy users only now, because no one's really reporting on it anymore except for me.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with my VCS. But
dude, I would rage if I bought something on Steam and I couldn't play it right away. Like,
but
really?
Yeah, I mean, just putting it out there. There is a brand new exclusive Atari 2600 game that came out yesterday for the Atari VCS, and it is indeed called Alien Abduction. It's made by the guy who made Hero for the from Activision, the game designer of Hero, like H.E.R.O.O. He made this game. So I can't wait to play it, but I can't right now. I just can't play it because I can't download it.
Yeah, what happens with I have the same problem. Every time I buy something on VCS, I got to email their support for them to trigger it on my account.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually that's what I'm about to do too. There's a support person who's super friendly that I will likely message in a little bit, because it's been now it's like 12 hours or something like that, and it hasn't shown up for me. So
yeah.
But yeah, those are the things.
It's more than you. I think it's a common occurrence based on one of the last updates they did to the system, like last year.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there you go. There you go.
What do you got going on your channel next week, Pete?
Same old. I got Tato Collection coming up tomorrow. Oh, not Tato. Tail Plan. Ooh, did I say something I shouldn't have said? Tail Plan or Towel Plan or whatever the hell. It's coming up tomorrow. And the usual stuff.
Plan. Toe Plan. I thought you were saying Taito first.
I call it Toplin. I don't care.
Toplin, Tail Plan. I don't give a crap. That's coming up tomorrow.
Toblerone.
And a bunch of Steam Deck stuff. Some, I got to get back into Playdate a little bit. There hasn't been a game come out that's really excited me for indie games. So yeah, same stuff. Never know. I'm waiting for the ROG Ally to be announced on May 12th. I guess see how interesting that's going to be.
All right. Cool.
What do you got going on, Crow?
Tomorrow I'll be streaming what one to pull? Space Invaders Extreme.
Nice.
Next week it's on Wednesday for the Pinball Channel. It's poll still going, but it's probably going to be World Cup Soccer. Earlier this week I put out a video on the Ardu Boy because I modded it. I don't know if you saw it, but
So it's got more than one game now?
it has over 300.
That was a great video to see you go in there and have to. I didn't realize that the mod was just like a ribbon cable. That was.
Well, yeah, that is the mod. A lot of times it's just like they make it so you can overlays on the solder points on the circuit board. You just put some solder on it, and then it works. And yeah, I kind of fumbled around with it because I think I had an earlier version or an earlier model than the later ones they released because the wires were kind of in a different place. I should have just been able to pop the thing in there, solder it, but I needed to replace a couple of the wires because they weren't long enough for what I needed. So, but I got it together. It wasn't too difficult in the long run. And now there's a menu on here with like 300 games and utilities and stuff. Even utilities you could use to make your own Arduino games that are in here. So
I was impressed with that. That was a fun video. Yeah.
What?
That's
The
really
one thing
neat.
I'll say though with modding, and that's why I wasn't surprised. It seems like every modding video that I've ever watched, like there's always like some like little thing you have to tweak, but that's how modding is. Like you have to like there's always going to be something that doesn't fit right, and then hopefully you're experienced enough where you have the right tools. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. But yeah, I'm glad they made that backwards compatibility for people like yourself, who had the first one that you just didn't have to like rebuy the whole new thing,
Well, that was the interesting thing. Like I said, they came out with the Ardu Boy FX. And I said, "Oh, it's got 300 games built in there." I was like, "Man, that'd be interesting. I wonder if it'd be possible to mod this thing." And the next thing I saw literally was the mod chip to be able to put in this, and because it's exactly the same thing. And speaking of it, I don't know if I even should do videos on these because I had these for a while, because that's what kind of reminded me of it is these things. They're the same form factor and everything.
You should.
These are just Arduino versions of Tetris, Oregon Trail, and Pac-Man. Well, Pac-Man. And I've had these for a while. I bought these on Amazon because they're pretty cheap, but I never opened them.
John steps into the last moment. Yeah, I've been doing.
What's funny is I could actually play these from inside the case because you could turn them on, you could hit the buttons and everything.
Play on there.
Oh, that's cool.
Good stuff. Let me talk. So real quick. So, yeah, on my main channel, you're definitely going to do or put together Toplin. Toplin 2 First Impressions. However you pronounce it, that's how I say it. And
you don't pronounce it the way I say it.
Nah, Toplin. That's how I'm calling it. Toplin, like soap, like taupe, and then land, but not land. So I'll be doing that. I do want to do some more Steam Deck videos, either CoinOps X4. I've got that sitting there. I want to get that up and running. There's another like really cool like aftermarket game that you had to do some tweaks to actually like make it playable. I may want to do that, and yeah, something like that. I do want to. Maybe that'll come out this Sunday or not, but I do want to have those things going on Karg. And for those of you who haven't, me and Rich we recently did a Karg episode with Cyrus. We kind of teased earlier. It was a lot of. Right. It was a lot of fun. The one thing that was great, I'll say with him, is sometimes when you talk with some people, like after like the hour or so, like you run out of steam. We went with 2 hours. Matter of fact, if Rich didn't say, "Hey guys, I gotta, it's late here," we could have easily talked like another hour. So it's great to have a guest like that where you could just kind of go like on and all that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And all that fun stuff. He warmed up to us because I don't know, like I kind of in the beginning, like I don't know if I weirded him out because I was like, "Hey, just to let you know, I have this beer here. Normally, I'm not this weird." And he's like, "Okay." And I told him, I'm like, "Hey, towards the end of the show, I'm going to get you to do like a retro Kill-9 and calling all retro gamers." He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Hope I didn't scare you." So no, he was a great sport though.
Well, Rich knows him, right?
Yeah.
Rich
Yep. Yeah, we've actually met, which is cool.
Yeah.
So like it was fun. It was fun to see and hang out with him again. So yeah, he's a really cool dude, and we had a lot of fun talking retro stuff.
We haven't even talked about when's the game of the month coming.
Yeah, it should be. Well, the chat actually took care of that for us.
Okay, so we can do that next week, and we got to talk about speculation for the big May announcement.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Yep. Plus, plus we also got to talk. We got to, all of you guys, you got to be in the our little Evercast chat this week. We got to put in some work. So more on that later.
Yep. Yep. Oh yeah, and I'm having my first. I forgot to mention my first members only live stream this week, May 10th.
Very cool.
Remember,
ooh, nice.
come check out and hang out.
Sweet.
Yeah. Rich has said he's coming, and I'm holding him to that.
Yeah, I will definitely. You just gotta let me know when it is.
He's my only member.
Yeah,
that's it. Cool.
Sounds good.
I don't know. I have no idea what we're gonna do. What I'm gonna do? Just sit and talk.
Nice.
Awesome. So,
Cool.
but yeah, sounds
bye
good.
everyone.
Curl, you want to roll your outro before I roll the standard outro?
You want me to?
Bye.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna hit. Oh, this.
Game over, yeah!
Mayo.
Yeah.